Good afternoon and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name's Julie and this is my Vlogtober. Today is a bit of a different one. So generally I've been doing vlogs and I've been doing what I eat in the days, that kind of thing. Today I thought I would do a video on my journey to being grey and joining the Silver Sisters and back again. So back, several years ago now, I think probably 2.5 years ago, maybe 3 years ago, I was toying with the idea of letting my grey grow out. I was finding that I'd dye my hair either myself or at hairdressers, and within a couple of weeks I'd have the old roots coming through and it was starting to get on my nerves. So I decided to go lighter, and I'd got loads of blonde being put through it in an attempt to hide it, and it just wasn't working. So my dad, you know, if you've been watching me for a while, started to suffer from dementia, and I felt like it was not helping him to recognise me with me having blonde hair, so I decided to go back to being dark. So in the January of 2020 was the last time I put a dark dye on my hair. So I applied the dye just so my dad could recognise me. I don't think, in all honesty, it made any difference. I think he was so on his way at that point that it didn't really help him know who I was. And then COVID hit, so I decided during the lockdowns that I would allow my hair to grow out and not touch anything with it and see how I felt about it. So this journey took probably 2 years. I'd say probably November or December last year when I went for a haircut was the final bit of dye that was remaining in my hair was cut out. So what you see now is my natural hair in all its glory. So it's a real mixture. So at the front I've got a real dark streak here, and underneath is quite dark. It's not as grey as I thought it would be, and it hasn't made life easy because I was kind of hoping that my hair would all be white grey and I'd be able to put toners and tints on just to sort of like make it a nice funky colour, and that's not happened. And I have a real love-hate relationship with it. Some days I really love it and other days I hate it. I think the turning point for me recently was I went to the oncologist with my sister and just got a face mask on, and she thought I was my sister's mum. And my sister is probably 7 years younger than me. So yeah, that was kind of the turning point, and I've been thinking for a long time that I might want to actually go back to having brown hair, and I've been reading a few magazines on Readerly that Davina McCall's been in, and I keep looking at her thinking, she's older than me and she's still dyeing her hair. And I keep thinking, I've probably got another 15, 20 years maybe of dyeing my hair if I want to stop at that point. And I know it's hard work maintaining it, but I keep looking in the mirror thinking, does it make me look older? And recently I've been looking back at some of my old videos from when I first started on YouTube, which was only a couple of years ago, and I was still obviously fairly dark then, and the difference is quite amazing. I think with grey hair you have to make such an effort with your makeup to have a made up face and bright lipstick in order to still look young, otherwise you do risk looking older with it. And I just find that my hair in general, I have to really sort of like blow dry it or maintain it, and I just find that I'm just sticking it up in a ponytail most of the time because I'm just not happy with it. You know, when it's in the light sometimes I look at it and think, oh, it's not too bad, I quite like some of the grey, but I have to use purple shampoo on it to make it stay white. And anyway, I've come to the conclusion that I'm going to dye it. So I've been out and bought some hair dye. I'll quickly insert some footage of the progress I've made over the past few years. I've got some videos and some photos of how I looked before and how I sort of transitioned, because I did actually try to document some of the process. So I'll insert that footage now and then I will get on with dyeing my hair. Before I insert the footage, I'll quickly show you that I bought a bowl and a comb. I bought some sectioning clips. I've got my scruffs on, and I bought this dye, which is a 4.3 dark golden brown. I've no idea what this is going to look like on my hair. I'm just hoping it takes okay. I did try to book in with my hairstylist, my hairdresser, and she doesn't work weekends. She's got small children, and the latest she works is 5:30, and that's when I finish work. So assuming even if I could finish work early, I would have to do that every month. So I'd be using holiday or whatever just to be able to go to the hairdressers, and that would be like a lot of holiday. If I took a half day, that would be like 6 days a year of my holiday gone. That's over a week. So I'm not prepared to do that. And she's cheap. I can't afford to really go on a regular basis to a hairstylist. It's going to be charging me £70 plus. So I've decided I'm going it alone. Like I say, I was going to try and get some professional dye, but I was so overwhelmed by all the colour combinations and the way you mix it that I kind of gave up. So I've settled with this. I bought 2 boxes in case I need it. I'm going to mix one box up first, see how far I get, and then I'll mix the other box up if I need it. So yes, I'm going to get on and do that. I was thinking about whether to do a chatty whilst I dye my hair, and I don't know whether to do that or whether to just time lapse it, because it might take me a while, but we'll see how we get on. I might chat for a little bit and then time lapse the rest, but I'm going to get on now and get my dye mixed, my hair split ready, and see how it goes. Hi, so I've been inspired by one of the people I follow on Instagram who's doing a silver, I can't remember what she called it now, a hashtag with silver in it, and she's growing her grey out. I've been wanting to do this for a long time, but I've always chickened out and got scared, but now we're on a lockdown, I kind of think I might leave it for a bit because it's not essential for me to go out and buy dye. I have got a box dye in the cupboard should I need it if we are released from lockdown, and I have a wobble. But I thought I'll do this now, and I'm going to film a clip every day, and I'm going to document my growth. Well, not every day, but maybe once a week. And then I'll film a video at the end of it and see whether I decide to keep it grey or whether to dye it back. But basically, it's probably, I'd say, 3 weeks, 4 weeks since I last dyed my hair. I currently dye my hair. I have to do it really every 4 weeks because you can see how grey it gets. And normally I've left it to this length, and then I chicken out and decide to re-dye it because I don't want to look old, and I don't know how much grey. I mean, you can see my roots are actually really grey. I'm hoping you can see that from this video, but it is fairly, because it's so bright, I'm trying to get into the right spot so you can actually see it. But yeah, so there is a fair old chunk of grey in there already. But yeah, normally I get to this stage, and as soon as it stops being hideable by putting my hair up, I chicken out. So if I consider this, which is probably week 3 or 4 of kind of day 1 of doing this, it's the 4th of April, and we'll see what happens. So yeah, I'm going to try and set a diary reminder so I remember to film an update. But yeah, this is it so far. Bye. So this is week 2. This is the 11th of April, documenting my grey, and I'm hoping you can see it. And it is starting to progress now. Don't know how well you can see it, but when I tie it up you can really notice it now. I'm already starting to get cold feet, so we'll see. Hi, this is week 3 of me officially growing my grey out since being on isolation. You can see it's really starting to come through now. I've washed my hair this morning, so my hair's clean, so you can actually see all of the grey that's coming through. Let me see if I can get into slightly better light so you can see it all. So yeah, if I tie my hair back now, you can see quite a lot of grey at the front. Let me see if I turn around whether you can see any better. Just been going through my videos and realised I've not been documenting this, even though I set myself a reminder to do it. I think it's probably like 2 or 3 weeks since I last recorded. But here is my grey progress so far from lockdown. I'm trying to get into the right light so you can see it, but it's quite significant now. There's quite a lot of grey. And I'm not really liking it. I think if it grew out and I could put like a pastel colour over it, it wouldn't be quite so bad, but I don't know. Anyway, you can see it's quite significant and it's come on quite a lot. It's now probably about an inch or so of grey since the beginning of lockdown. So yeah, that's this week's progress. So I thought I'd do a quick Silver Sisters update so you can see the progress of my hair. If any of you know that I've just not bothered dyeing my hair since probably the middle of January. I was due to dye it again at the start of lockdown and I left it and then decided that I might actually grow it out and let it all go grey and then put some sort of like nice silver colour on top when it's grown out. And this is the progress so far. So this is probably 6 or 7 months in now. And some places it's greyer than others. And I've actually got this sort of like dark streak. So where some people have a grey streak at the front, I've got a dark streak if you look at the front. But yeah, that's my progress so far. I'm not loving it, but I'm not hating it either. I've been so close to dyeing it back at certain points when I couldn't decide what I wanted to do with it. But I'm going to stick with it now because I just think that it's the best opportunity I've got whilst I'm at home a lot. And I mean, whilst we might not go on full lockdown again, at least if I can persevere till the winter, I think by next year, certainly under here if you look, I think the grey will probably be down to about here or so. So if I get another chunk cut off my hair, not that short, but if I get another chunk cut off, there won't be a huge amount of this colour bit left. I actually did think at one point about stripping the colour off. I kind of like the colour this is. I think because I had blonde in it before, because I was trying to lighten my hair so that it blended better when the roots come through. And then I put a brown over the top, but then obviously it's faded when it's been washed. So I quite like the colour it is now, so it's a bit of a shame. But so yeah, at the moment I'm persevering with it, unless I get really fed up and then you'll suddenly see me with brown hair again. But I'm going to try and see, and just hope it doesn't make me look really old. So if we just ignore the fact that I haven't washed the roots out very well, there's a bit of blue there, I think it has changed the colour. The silver does seem more silvery. I was hoping it might tone this bit down a bit more, but overall, for a 15-minute conditioning treatment, I'm quite happy with that. So yeah. So this, anyone that hasn't followed me before, I've started growing my hair out. Last time I dyed it was January last year, so this is about a year, 3 months, 4 months worth of growth. I think it was 23rd of January last year last time I dyed it, and I was dyeing it literally every 2 or 3 weeks it needed doing. So yeah, I decided to grow out my grey and embrace being a silver sister. So that's where we are. Still got a way to go. In some places more than others. Desperately need a trip to the hairdresser, but I didn't rush to be one of the first back. But I may have to book in soon. So. So the hair dye is now on. I have got loads on my skin, so I do expect to be really, really orangey brown everywhere. But I can always exfoliate and try and get it off that way. I decided that more is probably better than less at the moment, since I'm covering up so much grey. Tom took one look at me and said you should have gone darker, so I'm hoping the colour is okay. I don't know if you can tell, it looks quite orangey, so I'm hoping it's alright. I decided that I'd go for a medium or lighter brown on the basis that I can go darker, but if I go dark and I don't like it, I can't go lighter without bleaching my hair, and I don't want to really do that. So that's it on. That was just one box. I managed to get one box to go all the way through, which I didn't think I would because my hair is fairly long and fairly thick, but I think because I used the brush, it perhaps uses a little bit less on the actual roots and stuff. I think I've got it all covered. I really hope I've got it all covered. If I've got any gaps, I have got another box, so I can always stick another box on later. But yeah, so I'm leaving it now for 35 minutes, and I shall see you in a bit and see what it looks like. I'm actually quite nervous. So the dye's all washed off. I don't know how much I've got left on my face. I've just washed it all off. So I'm going to go and dry it in a sec. Just let Luna out. I'm going to go and dry it, and hopefully the results are okay. Fingers crossed. So here is the finished result. I have actually missed a few bits. Over here I could see when I was drying my hair a little bit that I've missed, and apparently I've missed a little bit at the top of the back as well. But it was the first attempt at a complete coverage, so I'm not too concerned about it. Eddie said, oh, you're going to put the next one on next week, and I was like, no, I'm going to wait till my roots start to come through, and then I'll just put the rest through then. So that's that. It's quite funny because I used a bit of Body Shop exfoliator on the edges of my forehead to get the dye off, and I wiped it all off with some wet cotton wool. I meant to put my beauty balm on, and I think I'd still got a bit of exfoliant in there because it felt like I was rubbing sand into my skin. So I've also exfoliated at the same time, which is good. But yeah, that's the new colour. What do you think? Let me know in the comments if you think it looks okay. Please be kind. So yeah, done it now. That's it, back to being brown and brunette. So yeah, I think I've done the right thing. I'm quite happy with it at the moment. So thanks for watching my video. If you like this kind of middle-aged content, please put a like on there and subscribe if you haven't already, and put in the comments what you think, whether you think whether you'd be sort of growing your grey out anytime soon, and how do you feel about it all. I do think it's a very personal thing, a bit like weight loss, and you have to do what's right for you at that time, and at the moment for me I've decided that I need that colour. So yeah, I'm quite happy, and I shall see you tomorrow in the next video.